So today it's all about the beret, and welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. So today we have 3 patterns that you see here. They're each the same. So there are 3 videos that will be appearing on YouTube. Each will be their own thumbnail so that you can see that. So if you love this one here and you've just followed this one, you don't need to change that. It's the same video. So all 3 videos for these will be exactly the same. So it's just a matter of changing out the thumbnail. So what we have here is that it's working from the top down. So we're gonna start in the crown area and work our way out and then come back in like this. So what you're going to notice is that when you finish this, this brim here will be a lot deeper on all 3. And what this is, and I keep saying that, I'm sorry about that, you fold it in and then you sew it on the inside, and that's going to create an extra thickness to your brim. But you can also put an elastic stretchy thing that's, you know, elastic that's optional inside. So not like a rubber band, but the fabric elastic. You can put it around your head, get the right kind of ideas, secure it, and then when you go to fold it over, put that inside, so then the brim will be elasticized for you. So that's something that you can do. So you'll be using a Red Heart Soft today. You could use your Red Heart Super Saver. I'm gonna be using Bernat Premium Yarn. A 5.5mm size eye crochet hook is the prescription today, and we're going to begin. So let me take you to the Bridgette pattern here. Again, they're all written the same, but I will be focusing on that one in particular as following the instructions. So let's begin to look at that next. Let's begin our beginning chain, and we're just gonna create a slip knot. This is classified as an easy level. Could almost be a beginner if you're that determined. And you're going to chain a total of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and slip stitch to the 5th one away, which is the very starting, to form the ring, and pull through. And you have the ring, and make sure that the straggler will be wrapped around the ring so that you can get that stuck underneath so you don't have to sew later. Let's begin round 1 next. So the top of the berets have like a 5-point section. So using it in granny squares, it's 4, like you got 4 sides. This in case it will be 5 that you'll see when you happen to do this. So we're going to begin in chaining 3. So 1, 2, 3, and put 2 more double crochet into the ring. Go right up over top of that straggler, and then you don't have to sew that in later. So just go right up over that. And then you're going to chain 1 after that, and then do another 3 double crochets, and you're gonna do that so that you can see 5 groups of 3 double crochets that are separated with the chain 1 space. Okay, so that after you get that one done, chain 1 and then do another one, and I'll stay silent for the remaining of the round. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, so that would be a granny square. So we want to throw 1 more in. We want 5 groups of 3 double crochet. Okay, and then when you finish, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, chain 1 to finish, and then slip stitch to the top of the first chaining 3 that you started with. Now if you went over the straggler like you should have, then just cut that out now, get that out of your face, and we'll move on to round number 2 next. So round number 2, what we're going to do is that we're going to expand. So right now we have 5 groups of 3. We're now gonna have 10 groups of 3 once we're done round number 2. We're gonna be playing in these spaces that you see right here, and you're also going to play in the middle one of the grouping of 3, and that will give you your expansion. So as we start this one here, we're going to slip stitch to the next double crochet, which is the middle of the group, okay, of the same group that we're in, and then you're going to chain 3 and put in 2 more double crochet in that same one. Then you're going to chain 1 so it expands out, and then come in the space between the next group, and then put in 3 double crochet. Then chain 1 to expand, and then come to the middle one of the grouping of 3. Did you get that? So you're playing in the middle one of each of the groups, and also the chain 1 spaces in between, and you make sure that you chain 1 in between these as you're going around. Please do this. This is round number 2. So I'm in the last space before where I started before. So remember, I started on the middle one of the grouping of 3, chain 1, and then just join to the top of the chain 3 to finish that off. And this was the end of round number 2. So it should still be laying flat for you, and let's begin and move on to round number 3. So we're gonna be doing expansions here, but now we have to just allow more space in between the corners. So you'll see corners kind of appearing as we're continuing along our story. So what we have to do is that we have to continue, and we are going to use the same space that we're currently just passing. So we want to use that space to begin. So we're going to chain 3, and you are going to double crochet 2 times in there. So this one will stand by itself, and then you're gonna chain 1, and then you're gonna come to the next space here, and you're gonna do something slightly different. So you are gonna put in 3 double crochet first, and then chain 1, and in the same one 3 double crochet again. Okay, so let's just review on what we're doing. So we're gonna chain 1 after that. So the next one is gonna have 1 by itself, like you see this group. This is important because the remaining of the growth is like this. And then chain 1, and then you'll come to the next empty one, and you'll do the same thing with this special one that you did right here. So that is your expansion. So 3 double crochets to start the journey, and then chain 1, and then 3 double crochet back in the same one. So please do this all the way around. This is round number 3, and as we're progressing you'll see this more and more. The difference is that there will be more standalone groups of 3 in between these, and these corners will maintain themselves. So chain 1, the next one's 3 groups, or 1 group of 3 on its own, chain 1, and the next one is then this corner idea of 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. This is round 3. Please do this, and I'll see you at the end of this round. When you come up to the end of round number 3, the last space before where you started is that one that has 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet in it. So because we had started with 1 solo, in this case the last one has to be that grouping that's special like that. Chain 1 and join to the top of the first chain 3, and it should still be laying flat for you. And let's continue into round number 4. In round number 4 we're gonna give this an opportunity to stretch itself out without expanding, so we're just going to allow that to happen. And right where we are right now we're gonna chain 3 and then slam in 2 double crochet into the same gapping space, and then chain 1, and then into the next space the same thing. So each one of these chain 1 spaces is going to have 3 double crochets in them, and that includes this one in between. So don't forget that, and that's all round 4 is. So we're giving this an opportunity to expand out without adding any more growth to it. Let's do that. So 3 double crochet, chain 1 in each of the spaces going around. So I'm just finishing the last one before the first one starts, and then just join it to the top of the chain 3. Let's move on now to round number 5. We're gonna do another expansion. It should still be pretty flat for you, and let's continue to round number 5. So round number 5 is similar to round number 3, how we did the expansion. So we had 1 on its own, and then we had this grouping of 2 that you see. The difference of round number 3 versus 5 is that there's gonna be 2 of these groups first, and then this expansion here. So that's our goal. So let's begin. So chain up 3 and put in 3 double crochet, or sorry, 2 double crochet into the first one. That chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Then chain 1 and do the next one by itself as well. So 3 double crochet, and then chain 1, and then the next one here will be an expansion. So it'll be 3 double crochet first, chain 1, and then 3 double crochet once again. And that's gonna be your expansion for round number 5. So the next 2, this one and this one, will be solos like this one, and then this next one here then will be this expansion of 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, and you'll keep repeating that all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of that round. So make sure you chain 1 in between these groups, and we'll finish up round 5 in just a moment. As we finish up round number 5, the one before this should be this like that. So chain 1 and then just join it to the chain 3. So we're moving on to round number 6 next, and we're gonna do another expansion as we go to 6. So round number 6 is the final expansion round, and then we're going to then move on to something new. So we're gonna chain up 3, and in the same one 2 more double crochet. So this time there's going to be 3 groups of these solos by themselves. So chain 1 between them, and then slam in 3 double crochets into the next. So this is the second group of 3. Chain 1 and then go into the next one. That's the third group of 3, and these are on their own. And it helps you to know, see this expansion one here, that's where you're gonna expand, so if that's easy to tell. So chain 1, and in that same space, which is the next one in between here, is going to be an expansion. So it'll be 3 double crochet first, chain 1 and 3 double crochet again. So that's kind of easy to remember, just to look for that word that's already expanded before that you expand again. So chain 1. So let's review. So this one, and this one are all, the 3 of those will be solos. And then see this one here, that's the expansion, that'll expand again just like we did here. So I want you to do this all the way around. This is round number 6. So I'm coming all the way around on number 6, chain 1 and then just join it. So what I would like you to do, if you have your pattern, great. If you're not, you should have now a pentagon. So let me just zoom you out at this moment. So it looks like a pentagon at this moment, and now rounds 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, there's 5 rounds, are each going to be round number 4. Now round number 4, you remember how we just slammed in just a grouping of 3 in between each space? That's all we're gonna do. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna expand it. You'll notice that it will round off even more, and it also will come and start forming into a bowl shape over the top of the head. So what I need you to do, rounds 7, 8, 9 and 10 and 11, this is what's next. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, just chain up 1 and put in 2 double crochet into the same one. And then chain 1 and then come into the next space and do the same thing. So each space, including the expansion space, is going to have 3 double crochets in them with the chain 1 that separates those, and then when you get around you're just gonna join it to the top of the chain 3 and then begin again. So do 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 and check it off on your list as you go, and I'll see you at the end of round number 11. So now what we have here is like a bowl shape, and now we're going to reduce. The next 2 rounds, which is number 12 and 13, is going to be a reduction. They're both done differently, so it's not the same for each. And what we're going to do in round number 12 is chain up 1 or chain up 3, which counts as the first double crochet in the first stitch, and then moving into the next 2 there, just apply 1 double crochet in each. You're going to skip the next chain 1 space, and in the next 3 you'll double crochet. So you just have to double crochet in each of the double crochets going around, and just skip right over the top of those chain 1 spaces. Just ignore them, and what that will do is it'll pull it in tighter for you. So let's do that, and 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. This is round number 12. So once you come all the way back around, just join it to the top. And now we're going to do another reduction, but it will tighten up a little bit even after we do this current one that we're about to do. So this is round number 13 next. So round number 13, we're going to chain up 1 and we're going to single crochet in this one plus the next 6, so that it gives you a count of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And now the next 2 become together. So to do that, you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch, pull through, then you're gonna go to the next one, pull through, and then pull through all 3. Or all 3 loops, yes. So now the next 7 are by itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then the next 2 are together. So just pull through, and the next one pull through all 3 loops. Please do this all the way around. This is round number 13. Okay, once you get all the way around, just single crochet any remaining that you may have, and then pull that together like that. So okay, so let's begin, and we're now going to do rounds number 14 through 21. They're all the same. So what this is going to do is going to create a large band like this, and then we're going to fold it over on the inside, and if you want, and then we're going to secure it with a tapestry needle. If you would like to put an elastic, you can wrap it around your head if you wish and then secure that elastic. It's a fabric elastic, and then you get that to the size that you want. Just secure it so that it's in a ring, and so when you go to fold that over, then you will have that sizing in there, and this will have the stretch to match that elastic. But further before we get there, let's do rounds number 14 to 21. 14 to 21 is just chaining up one, and you're gonna do one single crochet in each of the stitches going around. When you get back around, you're just going to slip stitch to the top or to the first single crochet, and then chain up one and build it again. So I would check it off on a list. I'll meet you at the end of the first round and make sure that you are identifying the stitches. So I'm not counting, I don't need to, and I will see you at the end of the first one here, which is the end of round number 14, and make sure that you're doing that right, and then I will do the all the way to 21 on my own, and then I'll meet you back at that point. So I'm coming all the way around, so I want to identify which one is the start. So right where I am right now, this here is the part of the beginning. So when you go to finish this, you're just gonna slip stitch. So don't confuse this piece here as being a stitch. And then when you do it, pull it nice and tight so that it does a nice tight seam. So then chain up one and do that again all the way around. So this is round number 15. So I will leave the rest of this for you. I'll see you at the end of number 21, and I'll be there in just a moment. In the next part of this tutorial, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing right now, but remember that before you do this, that elastic, that if you would like to do it, has to be slid in before you do this, so that this will be underneath. So you're going to place that fabric elastic in there, so just shape it to your head and just secure it, and then just put it on the inside of this rim so that it's gonna be trapping underneath this particular section. So I'll show you what I'm doing next. Sorry, I just realized I forgot to show you that. I've now just come to the end of number 21. So when I go to secure this strand off, I want a really long strand. I'm going to be doing whip stitching to secure this into the brim. So I'm going to just trim it from this point and then just pull the loop through, and all of that huge idea. So I did, this is actually my second time doing this, by the way, not video wise, but I did a test sample to make sure I understood the pattern. So what I found with myself is that I didn't leave myself a long enough strand. I also found with myself, so we're going to turn this in, so the brim, so I'm looking at the outside of this, so the right side, and I'm going to turn the brim, but I want to be able to get it. So when I started sewing this before, I found with my brim I was starting to get really sloppy with it, in the sense that the fold wasn't equal, so I had to end up pulling out. So what I want to do is just with some spare yarn, just go on this round here. So this one here is the reduction round. I want to go this round here, which is round number 14, and I'm going to pull through a spare piece of yarn and then back out the other side on the next stitch. And I want to do that probably about 5 times going around. So I'm gonna leave this on the inside, and when I go to do the fold, I'm going to fold it so that I'm gonna tie that. So when I go to do the fold, just straight down in, and I'm going to pull it through the loops. So 1 and 2. And what my goal is then just to tie that into a bow tie. And what this will do is that it will secure that so that it doesn't change position. So I found with myself as I was sewing, then I was starting to sew, so then it was getting smaller and smaller like that. So I'm going to just choose somewhere else and do the same thing. So it's up to you if you want to do that. It's your call, and I know with myself is that I will screw this up if I don't. So your call on what you would like to do. So now I'm ready to sew this completely shut. So the brim has been turned over, so if you have the elastic, it'll be sitting on the inside of here. So when you go and sew this, it'll be resting hidden on the inside. So you want to put this here onto a tapestry needle, and you want to take your time because you will see this yarn coming through on the good side of the project as well. So just put it through the needle, and there should be the same amount of stitches in the same around. So I just want to come down and poke it through the one side and come to the same level that we had been securing. So it's round number 14. So if you're not sure, if you've marked it, you'll be able to see. So you're gonna come through and pull. Now these ties that I did are just merely suggestions, so if you're noticing that it's off a little bit, just undo it a little bit and then retry. So I want to come in to the next stitch and directly across and secure that band on the other side. Sorry, I think I'm out of the view. So just pull through. That's what happens when I have to have it for myself. So I want to do a nice job on that so that it looks consistent. So I'm going to jump to the next stitch on the other side and stay on the same level so I can see it just barely right here. If you don't want to see this at all, what you can do is that when you come through the front, come on to the other side, just stay on the fibers in the back of that brim and just do that if you would like to. It's your call. It's your creativity. And then coming through. And just as a sign of you know, progress, I like to pull the stitch markers as I pass them because it feels like I'm getting stuff done. And so I'm going to jump to the next stitch and the next stitch. So you'll see pretty much every other stitch is going to have this small little line there. And I want you to do that all the way around. That's it. So I'll see you at the end of this round where we'll fasten off, and this is awesome. So the first time I did the sewing I just screwed it up so bad because I didn't realize it was unfolding itself and I was securing it on the other side in the wrong location. Noticing that I didn't turn that over. If you're good, you're good, right? So whatever you need to do, I'll see you at the end of this round. Okay, now that I've gone all the way around, the brim is permanently folded and sewn. So I'm just going to secure this strand on the inside, making sure that it doesn't want to fall out. So I'm creating a knot first. Okay, and then what I can do then is just drag it in and out at of the inside of the brim. So don't make sure that needle doesn't hit the other side of this. So I know from experience. So I'm just gliding it along the fibers that are on the inside of the hat. So back and forth a total of 3 times we'll secure this so that it should never fall out on you. And of course if you need to tie another knot, that's up to you, but you shouldn't have to. So now that it's secured, you can just cut that right into the project itself, and therefore you have a hat to enjoy. So this is pretty awesome, right? So let me just back you out. So this is what we did today. Nice good brim like so, and this is actually my second one. So I got 2 things for the donation box, a red and a blue, and this was my just tester to make sure that I understood the pattern and etc. So whatever you decide to do with your berets, great, good for you. Have a great day, and we hope to see you again right here in the Crochet Crowd, and we obviously have more patterns and stuff coming out in the future. We'll see ya and have a good day. Bye bye.